where we've reached in Nigeria. People who have been governors wake up in the morning and tell blatant lies about people who are alive, things that never could happen. And I'm not sure I've given an example. One former governor said that his state blacklisted me, the state assembly. The only thing I ever had to do with the state is drive through it, passing up till that point. Where did I get to interact with them for them to blacklist me? But the man knows that Nigeria, you can get away with anything. So he says it. We must call out people who do things like that. Professional associations, where you're an accountant, you're misbehaving. Your professional association has a duty to call you out. You're a lawyer, you're misbehaving. Your professional association has a duty to call you out. Those are some of the steps we'll use to restore trust in society. And once we can build back trust, we can begin to make progress. Huge, massive proselytization of the place of values in human progress is a part of the deal of the new tribe.
Okay. Now let me digress a little bit. In your example now, you talked about how a governor lied against you. And we also know that a senior special assistant to the president on strategic communication also lied against you, that you were the one of those behind to take over government via protest. And you came out to say that you're going to sue him for 50 billion, I believe.
500 billion.
500 billion, right? And so many of us, myself included, we've been waiting to see the court document when he goes to court, because in that letter you said unless he apologizes. Has he apologized to you?
No, he has not. And Mike Zekome, senior advocate of Nigeria, has the brief. I'm waiting for Mike to tell me where he is on the prosecution of the matter.
But since then, since after that incident, a little bit digress here, it appears that this constant name calling, you and Peter Obi appears to have disappeared. Do you think your letter did the magic?
I hope it did. I hope it did.
Okay. Yeah. So let's come back to this report that you're releasing tonight, Prof. Considering the new tribe focuses more on health reform, how do you intend to leverage the experience and the contributions of the Nigerian diaspora to strengthen the healthcare system in the country?
Anyway, it's so important to make the point about the place of the diaspora in the Nigeria redemption. Besides the fact that historic facts suggest that 20th century, many of the countries that made significant progress piggybacked on diaspora engagement, beginning with Japan and the Meiji Restoration, and how the Japanese diaspora, majorly in Germany, began to influence Japan's attitude to technology and created a new Japan. Then progressing to India rising, China rising, the place of the diaspora, in all of this. So when you then transplant that to today's reality in medicine, where it is said that about 70% of all the black doctors in America are Nigerian.
70%?
70. That's right. Amazing as that. Where in one conversation I was in just last week in Washington, the pharmacist, the gentleman who leads the Nigerian Pharmacists Association, was saying that 10% of all the pharmacists in the state of Maryland are Nigerian. And then you can go on and see that most of Nigeria's human capital is actually abroad. But we can approach it negatively and say about capital flight, or positively by saying this capital can make impact in Nigeria and help revitalize Nigeria. And nowhere is that so obvious as the work that I have seen so far from the New Tribe Healthcare cohort. Listening on their conversations and all of that, and I'm just blown away by the things I hear them planning to do. I have no doubt in my mind that some of these interventions through telemedicine, through organizing education programs, through actual missions that are then coordinated and all of that, will have tremendous impact in healthcare in Nigeria. And you know that the future of any country is based very much on education and healthcare. You know, Angus Deaton, the Princeton University economist who won the 2014 or is it 15 Nobel Prize in economics. His book, The Great Escape: Health, Wealth, and the Origins of Inequality. I mean, just puts it out there. Healthcare is so central to progress. And if we can manage through the work of the Nigerian diaspora, the healthcare cohorts, to impact health in Nigeria significantly, would have made a milestone contribution to the Nigerian redemption.
Okay, finally on this report, let me recap here and ask you what exactly are the motivations that led to the new tribe to be launched, as a social movement at this time in our nation's history?
Some of us have especially spent our entire adult life trying to see if we can build a nation that works sacrificially. I like to remind people that I remembered my 18th birthday in a very awkward way at 8:30 p.m. on that day, because at the UNN, a group of us, against the majority, had been planning a social rising to show solidarity with universities elsewhere in Nigeria that were now being shut down because of demonstrations on the Adepeju killing at the memorial at the Adepeju. And we finally got the attention of our vice chancellor at that time, Professor Kodlinye, and he allowed us as a protest group to hold a campus-wide rally, Margaret Ekpo Ref. And somebody, a certain chairman, Pinnick, was speaking that night and said, today, the 6th of February, 1974, will be remembered as a day when those who were physically demobilized after the war were finally mentally demobilized. Your students, and I said, oh my God, it's my birthday. That's the kind of passion that I have had for changing society for 50 years. And in looking at our country, it was getting worse. The harder we tried, the worse it got. And I was like, should we just give up? Then I put on my social scientist hat and said, what are the reasons making Nigeria work have not worked? And I hit on the fact of values and the fact of institutions. This led to how can we now do it? And the product is the new tribe.
So over the years, you haven't given up.
No,
you believe sincerely that the new tribe will go do the magic. Following your trajectory, you've tried it through the political parties. At one point, you founded a political party. Even in the last election, you gave up your ambition for Mr. P. and co. So you've obviously, that political route appeared not to have worked. So you think this new tribe will be the game changer?
That is very true. See, for example, I've tried to make a point throughout my career that it's not about me. Which is why people say, why do you always give up for somebody else or something? No. It's important to communicate to Nigerians that it's not about you. It's about us. The whole Ubuntu concept. I am because we are. And each time you try that, people say, this man doesn't know how to take care of himself. That's how they used to tell my wife in the early days. This is your husband. You will just board last, though. The man is there trying to make the place better. People are getting rich. I can even tell you an example. When Bola Tinubu became governor of Lagos, I was playing a supporting role, running retreats free of charge for the government of Lagos. Retreats I was charging companies 20 million for. I would do it free for Lagos. And he gave me a nickname, Citizen. That's what they call. So one of my old boys, I went to school in Ibadan, Loyola College. One of my Loyola old boys who was in the government one day said to me in Yoruba, "Your boy, Odenia, Uncle Oje, you want a citizen?" Meaning, you this boy, you are a fool. People are chopping money. You are doing citizen. But I didn't mind. Like I said, Yemi Cardoso will recall this because Yemi Cardoso was my liaison person. He was the commissioner, the current central bank governor, commissioner for budget and planning. And he spent a lot of time in my office. Most of the plans executed. Yemi will come to my office in Lagos Business School and we'll sit and plan, work, go to Washington, talk to World Bank people, do this, do that, all from my pocket. You will not see anywhere where Lagos State paid me any money for all the work I did. I remember the late Rashid Baramasi one day came in. I was chairing some session with the World Bank people at the Sheraton on urban slums. And he came to me, Abro, you know, you won't get tired in this work. So why was I, like I was saying, I did a retreat one weekend for the master, was a client, paid me 20-something million. The following weekend, I did one for one bank, as Yemika also knows. They paid me 20-something million. Following weekend, I did exactly the same thing with Lagos State government. Didn't charge a kobo. Am I stupid? So people used to laugh at my wife. And I used to tell my wife a story about a certain physicist, chemist, who worked so hard, was in the lab from morning till night, and people used to mock him, mock his wife. They were sharing one old Volvo sedan station wagon. And then one day the man won the Nobel Prize. And then after that, you call him to say good morning, you pay $50,000. So I said to her, it's about delayed gratification. Thank God that God gave me a good wife who came to an understanding of that. Because when I hear people look at where I have been and say, this man must have made a lot of money. You know, when I left Volkswagen of Nigeria, we had played a chief executive role. I couldn't afford a 17 kVA generator to the place I moved to. That was how broke I was at the time I was leaving the place. I actually ordered one from a finance house to give me hire purchase, arrangement. And they came, they delivered the thing. But then I asked them, where are the papers to pay? The MD of the company said he was shocked to realize that I couldn't afford a 17 kVA generator, and that is his own contribution to my retirement. So, but from afar, people have all kinds of imaginations. But what has happened? Show me one of those people who have better educated their children than I have. The only thing that has limited the quality or state of any university or school that my children have gone to have been the ability to get in. All who could, Ivy League, nowhere, got in. God somehow was able to continue to provide. So I want to put it to those people who are driven by this, acquisition tendency. That, look, you're not better off in the end than a person who plays by the rules.
Thank you very much, Prof.
Ah, la, 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 la.